Good evening. I'd like to thank the NAACP this evening for putting together this debate. It takes quite a bit of work and a lot of people to do it. My name is Chuck Feldbush, and this year I'm running for the office of sheriff here in Stafford. I'm running as a constitutional officer, one that believes in your rights, your constitutional rights. The voters in Stafford County are at a crossroads of making the decision and keeping the same old way of policing that we've seen for a very long time. Does the fact that a total of 74 deputies and 32 dispatchers leaving since January of 2010 concern you? It concerns me. Or how about the fact that we are losing another 20 or 25 as we sit here and debate this tonight? This should alarm everyone within earshot of this forum. 106 employees gone, with up to 25 more leaving. What is the problem? Tonight we hear about the absolute need for a civilian review board, one that is made up of citizens of the county who are not related to me by blood or friendship. You will hear about the problem of traffic and training within our sheriff's department. Where are the deputies when 95 is shut down due to a major event? Any given Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday from 12 to 7, you can't find them on your major arteries, 610 especially, or 17. I will promote a team of individuals for traffic that will be there to specifically handle these issues every time. Deputies will be trained in CIT and know how to use it on the street. The day of not knowing how to respond to an autistic child or a child with Asperger's syndrome will be over. Deputies will be specifically trained on how to conduct business checks and when to perform them. The need for transparency and accountability is long overdue. You will hear tonight about the 66% increase in violent crime since 2006, along with the $7 million increase in the budget between 2009 and 2015. Where is it at? Deputies have been told, I know this for a fact, deputies have been told that I will just fire them all. A fact that simply isn't true. If you call that leadership, all I can say is pretty poor comment. And finally tonight, you're done. You can stand up. Everybody stand up.
You're fine. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone doing? I appreciate you being here. And I can't tell you, I see all these smiling faces and hard-working deputies and members of the Stafford County Sheriff's Office. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is David Decatur, and I'm running for sheriff of Stafford County. I've been living in this county my entire life, with the exception of 3 years when I served in the United States Army as an airborne paratrooper. Came to work here, and I've been with the sheriff's office for over 29 years, and over half of my career, over 15 years, has been the chief deputy, second in command with the sheriff's office. And over 17 years of that, 19 years of that, I've been in a command leadership management position with the sheriff's office. Over 26 years of my 29 years, I've been in a leadership position of sergeant or above. And I'm also a graduate of the FBI National Academy. Also graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University Public Safety Institute. I'm a graduate of the DEA Drug Unit Commanders Academy. And I attended the University of Virginia LEAD class, which is a class designed for high-performing organizations. I can tell you that I've been blessed to serve with the Stafford County Sheriff's Office, and it has afforded me opportunities to be in the community and to also have an opportunity to connect with the people, to find out what the problems are, and to lead this department into the future. And you have to have your finger on the pulse, and you have to be engaged and connected with the community. And I will continue the wonderful legacy of Sheriff Charles Jett by having a proactive, progressive law enforcement organization who cares deeply about the people in this community. We have a model that's not in our backyard, and we intend to press forward on keeping our community safe. Having a quality of life for our people is so important. Another issue that's always been near and dear to our heart is the youth of Stafford County, the at-risk youth. The cornerstone of what we do in law enforcement is serve and protect, and especially those who are most vulnerable, which are our youth, elderly, and also those who are disabled. And we're going to continue to press forward. We're going to have an organization who cares deeply about the people and who are connected. And as your sheriff, I pledge to you that we're going to work our very best to keep the crime rate down and to work hard to make a quality of life for everyone to be proud of and to raise a family.
Thank you. The first question came up last night, and it's coming up again tonight. Heroin, growing problem in our county. What is your plan to deal with heroin? In specific, this questioner asks, would it be better addressed through rehabilitation and not jail time? What are your thoughts of trading law enforcement budget for such programs? So broad question, and then that specific aspect. And on this question, DP, you're the first answerer.
Heroin and the opiate addiction it's a terrible thing. It's not only a health issue, it's not only a law enforcement issue, but it's a family issue. We're not going to arrest our way out of this heroin epidemic. I've had people close to me who have died from it. I've watched families crumble because of it. I can tell you that it's going to take a strong partnership. It's going to take collaborating with a number of people, families, schools, providing education, and helping our youth understand the perils of being involved with heroin. I can tell you that it's had such a huge impact. For the first time, heroin overdose death rate has surpassed the death rate for fatal car crashes. I think in the Commonwealth of Virginia we had 728 heroin overdoses, and we had 700 fatality car crashes. So it's a serious problem across the nation. It's an epidemic, and it's going to take strong partnerships. And yes, I'm in favor of doing some things that are progressive and proactive to try to deal with this terrible illness that we're dealing with.
I guess I'm probably one of the only people in this room that can speak to it right firsthand. My daughter's a recovering heroin addict. I've been through the program here in Stafford and Fredericksburg for 14 months with my daughter. I went every week. I was in the courthouse every week. The fact that these guys got together in the drug court program and are doing such a spectacular job, does everybody get through? Absolutely not. Education's everything. We teach it in the schools. We should be teaching it at home, but we don't. It's a very cheap way to get high. It's a very cheap way to die. There's a number of people here, I believe it's up to 22 right now for the last 2 years, who have died in this community itself. Do you know any of them? Have we seen a list of any of them? Where I used to work, we used to put the information in the Potomac News. But we don't have it down here. We had a 17-year-old down the street from my house recently. Last couple of weeks passed away on Sunday morning. Those are very important facts. The people in this community, they hear it like this, but they don't know it. It's not happening to you and your family. They don't know it. They don't have a clue. It's very expensive. Chief Campanella, Gloucester, Massachusetts. His program is this. You come in, you bring your narcotics with you, you bring your needles with you, I take them, I get rid of them, and we put you into rehab now. We don't wait. You can't jail people out of addiction like they're trying to do now. Follow the money is where it's at. Remember, am I done?
The next question deals with, I guess, essentially running the department. The question is in the area of leadership, management, and community relations. What education, experience, and training do you have in this area? And this is Mr. Feldbush first, please.
I've been getting this question quite a bit lately. I think it's a very good question. First of all, I don't have any education with regards to handling the cash. You have people, CEOs don't handle your cash, or CFOs handle your cash. They're the people you put in that position of trust to do all that. Your budget work, where it gets spent. You can't walk in there and spend $5 million and go on vacation to the Bahamas next week. Can't be done. The budget now is what you're going to be spending down the road, period. As far as education, I have not been to all the schools Mr. Decatur has. In my department, unless you were a lieutenant or above, you didn't get to go to these schools. You don't have that opportunity for training. What you bring here now is street experience. I've been in paramilitary all my life, to include military in the Air Force and with the police department up in Prince William. We have one of our former majors sitting right here in front of me, and I'm sure he's listening intently. But to come with those Specifics? No, we don't have that. But the fact is, leadership is something it's innate, it's an innate trait, it's an innate quality. The 5 keys: honesty, integrity, character, ethics, and morals. If you don't have those 5, go somewhere else. I bring all 5 of those to this table, every one of them, and I believe in every one of them.
I don't want to sound redundant, but again, I've been the chief deputy, second in command of the sheriff's office for over 15 years, and I've worked closely. I've been over the whole department under Sheriff Jett, and I can tell you that in the Commonwealth of Virginia, if you don't manage your budget, you're going to find yourself in jail. I mean, that's just the facts of the matter. It is incumbent upon you, it's your responsibility as a leader of that law enforcement organization to account for that money. And you do have people who do your accounting and manage your budget, but I can tell you that it's a very big part of what we do is making sure that that we manage the money, that we're good stewards of the resources and the money that we spend because it's taxpayer money. Again, 26 years of my 29 years, I served in a leadership position right here in Stafford. Never left Stafford, been here the whole time. I've been in an executive command position again for over 19 years in my 29 years. So very important. And leadership, leadership is very important. There's many definitions for leadership that I like. Influence is one, but I can tell you one that's very important. It's about relationships and results. And if you're unable to forge those relationships, if you're a naysayer, if you don't care, and if you find fault with everything, you're never going to forge those relationships and partnerships that make this county work and make our organization go. So leadership is at the top. Everything rises and falls on leadership. And I tell you another thing that's very important. We have a department filled with leaders. We have leaders in our department who could stand here in this position and run for sheriff. That's how talented the people we have in our organization. And our future is very bright.
The next question is about priorities. So we all run on a limited budget in our homes, in our counties, and in our sheriff's department. What is your number 1 priority, and what other reprioritizations would you make within the resources available to the Stafford County Sheriff Department if you're elected? And Mr. Decatur, you're the first to answer this.
I like to break priorities down into 2 categories, internal, external. The external priorities that we have first and foremost is protecting our community, making sure we are taking care of the crime in the community. But more important than what we do in enforcing law is engaging with the community and taking care of disorder and making sure that we're making this community a safe place to raise a family. So first and foremost, always keeping the community safe. We have a number of challenges that we're facing. Right now, cybercrime is on the rise. You've heard about the heroin addiction. That's another challenge we have. There's a number of things we have to deal with. Traffic safety, always at the forefront of what we're doing, because the chances of you being killed or seriously injured in an automobile accident is far greater than you being involved in a crime, a heinous crime against you, or being involved in some kind of terrorist act. Internally, real quick, is taking care of our people, making sure that we fight to get better wages for our people, better benefit packages, and also continuing our training to develop our future leaders.
What are we paying our deputies? They're not getting paid what we get paid in Prince William. They're not getting paid what we get paid in Fairfax. That's why they're leaving. 106 employees didn't leave here in the last 5 years for pay. If you talk to them off to the side, behind the covers, or around the corner, we hear they're leaving because of the leadership in this department. This is not me telling you this. This is them telling me telling you this. Very simple. These people here are telling us that it's very hostile, very caustic, and very volatile inside the sheriff's office. That's why they're leaving. This includes supervisors. This includes lieutenants. This includes first sergeants and deputies. And where are they going? There's a number of them now going to Prince William, City of Manassas, Manassas Park, Fairfax, and the D.C. area. That includes federal and local up that way. So your internal problems are great. There's no career development program here to speak of. They have none of that. The long-term range as far as what they asked as far as crime on the outside, We've had 3 major crimes in this community in the last 6 months. I call it the OK Corral shootout at Wings to Go. Does anybody, without the sheriff's deputies telling you, does any of the citizens here know what's going on in that case? You haven't been updated. We had a shootout right in the middle of the parking lot. My daughter was driving by as it occurred. Nothing's been said. We have the largest single jewelry store burglary robbery in, who's standing up here? Largest single jewelry store burglary in decades in this community. Princess Jewelers, $700,000. We have 1 detective working that case. This is an election year. I'd want to get the case closed. I'd rather look over here because they already know what's going on over here. They already know what's going on. And then finally, we have the big robbery here a couple weeks ago of a family at their front door in Vista Woods, right off Bertram Boulevard, at 10:15 at night, with their children present. They have a weapon stuck in their face and robbed. Oh.
So just as a reminder, he'll stand up, and then when I stand up, that's then okay cut off. So I may not have been clear on that. So he'll stand up, and then he'll sit back down, and I'll stand up. So you see me, it's really open. When he stands up, it's wrap it up. When I stand up, it's kind of the hook. So just to be clear on that. 20 seconds.
20 seconds later.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry for that confusion. That's my bad on explaining the situation. So I didn't get too many questions from the audience. I got some online. It was phrased differently for both, but the rules tonight is there's 1 question for both candidates, so I'm going to combine these. Apparently, at some time in the past, the date is not given here. There was a shooting involving Mr. Evan Newsom, and it involved something going on at his house. And so I'm going to leave that open-ended as far as what happened and how it was handled or should have been handled. The first person to speak on this is Mr. Feldbush.
Mr. Newsom, November 2nd, 2012. Mutual aid call inside Fauquier County on Tackett's Mill Road. It's about 300 yards into Fauquier County. Stafford gets called into a mutual aid. Deputies need assistance with a 17-year-old boy who has given his mom a lot of problem. He had already taken her car and wrecked it down the street at Aquia Drive in Tackett's Mill. When deputies got there, Fauquier deputies are out in front of the house talking to this kid through the door. He's locked himself in the house. He has a steak knife in his hand. What we have after this, if you read the reports, is not very clear, but I'll give it to you what it says. Stafford County arrives on the scene. Within 2 minutes, they sneak in through a mother-in-law suite, which is attached to the house. This is a huge house. It's got 3 different families living in it. They sneak in through the mother-in-law suite, through the upstairs floor, come down the steps. He is there. They say he attacked them. That's debatable. And they shoot him 9 times. 9 times. We have tasers. We have beanbag shotguns. We have all kind of weapons. The question is, ladies and gentlemen, how do we sneak in a house at 4 a.m. in the morning when there's nobody under arrest, there's no warrants, and the kid's not even told he's under arrest? How do we sneak in a house? All my life, you have to have rules and probable cause to sneak in, but to go into a house. This is not how it's done. These deputies, we're all exonerated. Nothing's been done about it. It's a very involved case. If anybody would like to stay afterwards, I'll be more than happy to give you the facts. Thank you.
Well, first off, I'd like to tell you that one of our core values is integrity, and I can tell you any of our men and women, what they say is the truth, and we trust them implicitly without any doubt. What happened that night was tragic. We never come into this profession. We come into law enforcement because we feel the spirit. We feel that we are called to do this job, and I can tell you that no one in our department is called to take anyone's life. That is the furthest thing from what we want to do. We want to care for people. We want to make a difference. We are called to do something more. And when you have someone come at a deputy with a knife, the taser is not the answer. This was a deadly force issue. I feel horrible anytime that happens. Unfortunately, you deal with people from time to time that force our hand, and we have to take action to protect ourselves and protect the community. So that's what happened. And I can tell you there was no foul play, there's no mystery, there's no cover-up. That is the gospel truth. Thank you.
The last question we have is really, why did you decide to run? There's a lot of effort involved here. And walk us through that process. and then wrap up with what you think your qualifications are to fill the office. So this is the last question, then there'll be the summary after that. This question goes first to Mr. Decatur.
As I mentioned earlier, I care deeply about the community. I grew up here. I mean, my parents right across from the courthouse, they owned the business. I grew up pumping gas there. I've lived here my entire life. As I mentioned about a calling, I feel called to do this job. It's an intrinsic motivation that I have, that I care about people. I have a strong spiritual belief in God, and I feel like I was put here for this purpose. It is truly a privilege to work in law enforcement, and I am blessed, and I'm not saying it because there's many of our people here from the sheriff's office, but we have a fantastic department. And when you come to work every day, living in a community and working in a community that's made up of people who are professional, educated, and who care deeply, and who want to raise their family and have a bright future, and they want the best for their children. That's the kind of community I want to work in. That's the kind of community I want to live in. And then when you work with people who care deeply like you do and mirror the feelings and the inspirations that you have, and they want to make a difference in their lives, that is the place to be. And the Stafford County Sheriff's Office, I'm telling you, for those of you that don't know us intimately, those are the kind of people that we have in our department. And to be a part of that and to be given the privilege to be a leader, to lead folks like that, where else would you want to be in life? So I feel like it's a calling. I want to make a difference. I know I can make a difference, and I care deeply. And you have my pledge, and I hope you vote for me because you will see a difference. And it's been an honor to work for Sheriff Jett because the man has taught me so much. Thank you.
Not a lot of people see this. 106 people didn't see this. They're all gone, every one of them. $7 million since 2009 been in the budget. Where's it gone? What are we doing with our money? This is your money and my money. It's our tax dollars. The reason I wanted to be sheriff is because I see things, I know things, ladies and gentlemen, that you don't know about the internal workings over here. And it just kills them that I know these things. And I put them out there. They don't like it. They hate it. This is not how law enforcement is run in this country. I'm sorry, in the country in general. It is here. We just lost a humongous murder case several weeks ago. Humongous murder case. Mr. Gonzalez. 3 trials, he still didn't get convicted. What happened? Are we ever going to know the truth? If you watch Dateline, you might have an idea. We have other crime going on in this community that's gone unchecked. The reason I want to be sheriff is I want to be out there in everybody's back pocket, so to speak, to tell you what's going on. Civilian Review Board's going to do that. You're going to know what's going on. There'll be no guessing. There'll be no shh. We can't talk about that. You know about the $1 million surplus in the asset forfeiture fund. That's the fund we're going to use to buy cameras with. Every deputy will be afforded a camera. We're going to find out what's going on. We're the only jurisdiction in this region that doesn't have cameras yet. This is why we want to see this. We want to see a change. A positive change, period. Not the way it's always been.
Thank you, sir. So we've gone through our 5 questions. Now we have a 2-minute closing statement from each candidate. And for the closing statement, Mr. Decatur will go first.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for coming out and showing the interest in this very important race. And I'd like to thank the NAACP for hosting very important issues. I can tell you that what we do is very meaningful work, and we care deeply, as I've mentioned over and over again. There is no mystery, there is no cover-up, there is nothing going on that, or any kind of scandals. I'm telling you, I'm the number 2 guy there, and I've been there for 29 years. Are we perfect? Of course we're not perfect. Anytime you're dealing with law enforcement and making split-second decisions and you're dealing with human beings, of course people are going to make mistakes, but it's how you handle that and redirect people. That's what matters. And I can tell you that it's very easy to be on the sidelines, not participating, not being involved in the community, and not making any effort but being judgmental and trying to find fault, because anyone can follow you around and try to find fault. That's not the way you solve problems. That's not the way that people connect. That's not the way you build partnerships and collaboration. That is not how you do it. You've got to reach out to people and make a difference, and that's what our organization does. We're not perfect by no stretch of the imagination, but we are committed to excellence, and we care about what we do. And you know, at the heart of what we do is connecting with people and making a difference. There is nothing going on dirty or underhanded in our organization. I just want to make that clear for the record. And I say that and hold my hand to God. But more importantly, we have a great team. And the transition from Sheriff Jett to me will be a seamless transition. And we have great people who are willing to press forward and make a difference. I can tell you that our community is too valuable, and the lives of the people that live here mean too much for us to not select the right person. If you look at it as an application process, you have to pick the person, you have to vet the person with the best qualifications. God bless you.
And that's you.
I just would like to thank you all for coming out. I know it's very difficult to come here and sit here and listen to some of this stuff. But I wish we had the other 106 employees here sitting here that can tell you and give you the accolades that they're giving my opponent. Is there secrets? Well, I know they're cousins. That's all I can tell you that. You know, is that important? Well, that means nothing. That means nothing in the long run. What we're talking about here is a complete change of hierarchy. Letting the citizens be involved, know what's going on. I want to know what happens out here. I'm a citizen now, my tax dollar comes in here, and it's like, you know, you walk down here and you can't ask any questions. I did file some FOIAs. That's how you find out about these people. And I know it killed the individual to have to respond back to me, but those things happen. You have the right to know these things. But most of y'all don't know it. I could ask you things now, you can ask me later on. You won't know the answers to them. You'll have no idea. You should be able to have that information right at your hand. You should be able to know without having to ask. That's what we're going to change, letting the people know what's going on. Where's the $1 million for the cameras? They got it. DOJ says they got it. So why don't we have the cameras? Due diligence only goes along too long, so long. 2 years is a long time. Prince, we want to have 500 cameras here in the not too distant future. I want to be on board with that. I want to have cameras. I want to see what's going on. You may have seen a Fredericksburg officer lost his job because of what happened on camera. That's what those things are for. They're to protect both sides, not just one. That's what we want to see change. That's what I intend to bring. The 5 keys: honesty, integrity, character, morals, and ethics. And that's how it has to be. If it doesn't have that, then vote for them. Very simple. That's the way it's got to be. Thank you.
And ask close for